So I want to talk to you this morning. Today's Legacy Sunday. I want to share with you about our legacy, what we do, what it's called, what it's about. It's called Legacy. That's pretty simple. It's Legacy Sunday. And so we actually have 5 lanes that we give towards outside of the church. We could very easily go, you know what, we're trying to save money for a building. We have about $220,000 in there right now. So we have a good little chunk of change, but it ain't enough. We got work to do. And so anyway, we could very easily go, you know what, we're going to give everything to that, and we're not going to be helping anybody else because we can get in our church a whole lot faster. Can I just say that probably makes a lot of sense on a business standpoint, but not biblically. You know, we want to keep pouring into other people, and so we're going to continue to give 12% away as we try to save, because we could easily go 12% plus whatever extra comes in, because our budget actually, I didn't say this in the first service, but we budget off of 90% of what came in last year. So we always have a 10% cushion that's really been going in the building fund, but that could be 22% if we didn't give stuff away. But we're going to continue to give away because that's why God's blessed us. And can I just be honest with you? The reason we have over $200,000 in building funds is because we continue to give stuff away, because that's the biblical model. If you want something, give it away. You know what? If you don't have time in your life, start giving some of your time away. You'll start finding some time. I'm just telling you, it's the biblical model. If you want it, give it away. I know it doesn't make sense in the physical realm, but in the spiritual realm, it's the way God works. And so, if you want something extra in your life, start giving whatever that thing is away. And that's what we do here at WRC. We want to start giving, or we have been giving from the beginning. We decided to give a minimum of 10% up to 12% of everything that comes in every month to other ministries. And so we have 5 lanes or 5 avenues that we pick to do that in. And so we're very strategic in this, and so it's not just randomly, hey, who needs money today? That ain't what we do here. We go, hey, who's making a difference in the world, in the nation, and in our area? That's how we pick what we do. So let me give you the 5 lanes real quickly. There's 5 legacy lanes, like I just told you. So these different lanes are divided up. So let me give you lane number 5. We're going to start with 5, and we're going to go down to number 1. Here's number 5, international missions. So international missions is just what it is. It's missions that are overseas. A couple different ways we do that. We send people on trips. We actually help support teams that go on trips. We've sent people to Colombia, to Suriname, to Honduras, or we've helped support to get them there. We've done a lot of different stuff like that. We've sent some teams. Actually, we're trying to get some stuff together to actually put a trip together for next year. We're working on that. We'll get you more information. But right now, we're just kind of tagging along with other teams, which really works well for us because we really haven't put one together ourselves yet. It is a lot of work. And so international missions is a big deal. So we send people overseas. We also have a ministry that we team up with called Principio. If April was in this service, she would scream right now because this is her dad's ministry. He started this ministry several years ago. And it's actually a ministry that goes to Honduras. Actually, he has people in Honduras, the locals there. He's trained them how to create crops of coffee beans. And it's really powerful because he teaches them how to raise it, how to harvest it. They export it over here. He grinds them up, sells them to churches. We actually buy this stuff from him. And 100% of what they do goes back to them. And they actually get to help patch up homes, build schools. They do all kind of different stuff. They help feed the hungry. I mean, it's very empowering. And can I just say, every time you drink a cup of coffee here at WRC, you're helping support a ministry that's feeding hungry people in Honduras. That's pretty good right there. And it's delicious. Look, listen, they got a cinnamon version of this that will just make the Holy Spirit jump all over you. It's so good. So that's one of our international missions that we support. It's just one of a few. Another one that we support, I'm going to talk more about here in just a second about planting churches. But we want to further the gospel, not just here, but around the globe. But internationally, it's a big deal. Here's number 4, and that is national missions. So we have an international lane. Then we have a national lane. This is for ministries that are going on around the United States, but not necessarily like right here in our area. We have that as a different lane. And so one of these ministries is called ARC, and they actually plant churches internationally, but most of the churches get planted here in the U.S. They've planted over 800 life-giving churches in the last 19 years. It's been absolutely incredible. And listen, I'm telling you, they have 200 and 300 people showing up to the first services of these churches that they're planting. It's absolutely incredible, life-changing, people getting healed, people getting saved. And here's the cool part. We donate every month to this ministry, and here's the cool part. This ministry has been, the overhead's been covered by a different church. Like they pay for the salaries and all of the administration, all that stuff, the buildings, all that's paid for. So every penny that we give to them goes straight into putting bricks in walls of churches. That's absolutely incredible. So, and these are not just just so churches. These are churches that are making a huge, huge difference. The other ministry that we support is called Abbey Lane. It's really one close to my heart. It's in North Louisiana. And what this ministry does, I love it. What happened was there was a pastor, and actually some of you may know a man named D. Spears. He was actually around here. His father, Wayne, pastored a church in Texas, transitioned that church over 19 years, and in the middle of that had a breakdown. He was reaching for his Bible one day, and he just broke. He was like, look, I got to get away. I was too much pressure. I can't do it. So he took a break. He took 3 months and went to Coshada, Louisiana, to his wife's property, which is about 80 acres, a beautiful property up there. He spent 3 months just relaxing and just getting in the presence of God and getting his spirit, was wounded, and he got everything back together and went back to work at the church. But in the middle of that, God gave him a mission, a ministry, a vision to create a ministry just for other pastors that are going through what he went through. So he created this place. It's really cool. It's like a really nice house. They have the bottom floor, and then there's 2 or 3 rooms upstairs. Then they have 3 little cabins in the woods. They have a prayer walking trail. And it's not for vacations. You can't bring your kids and your dogs there. In fact, he has to approve you to come because it doesn't cost anything. It's free to anybody that wants to go. And they feed you 3 meals a day. It's powerful. The presence of God is on that place. I go up about twice a year. It doesn't cost us anything. We make a donation, but it doesn't cost me anything to go. And I just spend some time, and I think about what we're doing for the year, and I think about our calendar, and sometimes I just go and I just rest to get refreshed. It's a powerful, powerful ministry. So we support Abbey Lane. It's a very powerful ministry that we do nationally. It's not really down here, so I say it's national. It's about 3 hours away. And so there's some other things that we do, but that's the 2 main ones. Then here's the third one. This is what you guys are physically a part of a lot. Most of you are, and that's local missions. That's what we call outreach. We have an outreach team that are incredible. They'll be here this Saturday. If you want to help out with that, that's where we're giving away over 1,000 presents to kids who need them that wouldn't normally have a real Christmas. And these kids are asking for stuff like bed sheets. Like, this is like for real people who need some help. It is powerful, powerful stuff. So if you want to help with that, show up here at 10 a.m. I'm sorry, 9, Whitley. 9. Show up here at 9 a.m. Saturday. And they're gonna actually help them wrap the presents. Here's the cool part: we're not putting our name on it. We're not putting your name on it. It's going to be like it came from the parents to the kids on Christmas morning, because we want God to get the glory. We don't want the credit. We want Him getting the glory. And so, if you want to be a part of that, it's huge. But listen, we do much more than that. That's just one of the things that we do. We've done an ABC baby shower. This is ABC Pregnancy Center. I was talking to my dad earlier. And he said, Westwood Baptist actually started this ministry. I did not know that, which is where my dad pastored for about 8 years, I believe. From 95 to 03. He was actually the president of it for a while. The building that they're in, he helped them. He wouldn't say this, but I'm telling you that he was a big part of them getting the building that they're in. It was incredible the way the whole thing worked out. They didn't have any money, and my mom was telling me, they just asked for people to come help hang sheetrock, and they said anybody that could walked in there and was trying to hang sheetrock mud on the wall. She said it was atrocious. If you build houses, you know what I'm talking about. It's like some of it was that thick on the walls, but she said they got through. They got everything done, got it fixed up, and that's the building they're in now. They're doing incredible, incredible work. In fact, I have a little sheet here from one of the months from this year, 2019. This is just 1 month report. Like, this is what happened over 30 days. 11 babies saved from abortion. You're a part of that. This is for 1 month. 9 people found Jesus. 9 ladies found Jesus. Big deal. 49 ultrasounds and 118 free pregnancy tests were given out. And they told this story. I want to share this story with you. It's very brief about what happened with one of the ladies. And you take part in this. I'm telling you this because every dollar that you give, we give to this ministry, and you're a part of this. A young lady visited us this month that was here 6 years ago when she was graduating from high school and became pregnant. She wanted to go to college and not have a baby, so she was here asking for an abortion. This happened 6 years ago. She showed up. She's pregnant. She wants to go to college. She wants to kill her baby. And she said after meeting with the ABC counselor and seeing her baby boy via ultrasound, which they didn't have back then, they have them now, she decided to keep that little baby boy. That baby boy is now 6 years old, and the mama is almost finished with nursing school, married and expecting her second child. That's powerful right there. You're a part of that. That's what you're doing with what's going on, with what you give here at WRC. What a power. And that's just 1 month. Like, that's just one little story of many, many, many more. Can I just tell you, there are going to be people come up to you in heaven and thank you for what you gave to ABC Pregnancy Center, and you didn't give it straight to them. You gave it to the church, and the church gave it to them. And so we want to be a part of ministries that are making a difference. Looking, I don't want to pay nobody's light bill, but man, if you're helping somebody save their life, we want to be a part of that. So ABC Pregnancy, we did a baby shower for them. It was an incredible time for ladies to come and just get loved on and shower with gifts. It was awesome. I wasn't there because I was a dude, so I couldn't go. But it was very powerful. It's one of the ideas of the ladies on the outreach team. We gave away over 400 backpacks for Back to School Bash, which was an awesome event. If you came here, people were everywhere. There were people all over the place. We gave over 400 backpacks away, and we'll give over 1,000 Christmas gifts away this Saturday. This is just a small portion. We do much more than this. We've made sandwiches to give to the homeless. We've done much more than this, but this is one of those. Let me just say one other ministry that I don't have on here. It's called Community Chest. I love this ministry because here's what they do. Community Chest is a ministry that helps those who have a need, whether to pay a bill or they're homeless or something like that, but they vet the people because some of you know, helping people sometimes is very hard because sometimes you want to throat punch somebody. Anybody been there? If you ain't ever want to throat punch somebody help, you ain't helped enough people because at some point you're just like, man, we just helped you like 3 days ago. I'd have somebody. We had a guy who was homeless and he would come in every month. I'd put gas in his truck. I go buy him a hamburger. We never really gave him cash, but I would go help him. And so finally he came in. I'm like, look, man, and I know his name. I'm not gonna say his name, but I knew his name, and I said, listen, man, we love you. We want to help you, but, man, we want to help you get past this because you keep coming in here. We're not really helping you. I said, man, bring me your bills. Bring me what you get, what comes in every month, and we're going to help you budget your money so you can get out of this mess you're in. I haven't seen him since because sometimes people don't want help. So what this ministry does, I love it because they have people in a system, and they know those who abuse the system. And so we can actually give to those who really, really need it. So we support this ministry on a monthly basis. It's a very powerful ministry. Let me give you number 4. This is probably my favorite one of the list besides the building fund that I know some of y'all are like, okay, you said floor plans. We want to see floor plans. That's why we're here. I'm getting there, okay? Just give me a second. Let me give you number 2. Number 2 is really dear to my heart, and that is praying for the lost ministries. It's really where our church was born out of. If you don't know the story, I won't take time to tell you the whole thing, but back in 2010, God spoke to me and he said, I want you to start a Bible study. And I said, no, I don't want to do that. And God said, yeah, you need to do that. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. And I didn't tell anybody. My dad calls me from the road one day and he's like, listen, God's leading us to start a Bible study. I'm like, God dog it. Because when God speaks, I'm just like, when Dad speaks, I'm like, all right, now I got to do it. Because, some of y'all been spanked and some of y'all been whooped. I've been whooped. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm picking. He wouldn't do that to me today. But anyway, we started a small group. It started with about 12 people in my mom and dad's house. And now we do small groups that look like this. This was just, I didn't even know what a small group was really. This was a Bible study. We started with about 12 people. It really never grew past about 18 or 20. And then we have a picture I found the other day of our first Wednesday night meeting here before we had a Sunday morning. I think I counted about 24 people, counting all the kids. And so this is where we were. It was just a handful of people that started out of their ministry. God led us to do it out of PEL ministry, and it's where we were born. And we had our first Sunday here, October the 7th, 2012. And the rest is history. We're working on that now. But this is one that's dear to my heart, man. We've had some incredible stories. If some of you were here for first service last Sunday, I shared with you about a young man named Cody. I had gotten a prayer request as we were starting church. And a lady said, listen, I have a nephew who lives in Illinois. He's 26 years old. He has 3 little kids. They've given him 2 weeks to live. And he doesn't know Jesus. I said, well, let's pray for him. So I pulled out the little yellow book, which if you don't have, get one. First of all, it's free. Second of all, it's very powerful. So we started praying the principles together in chapter 4, and we started praying the principles for Cody. We prayed for him as a church in that service. We prayed for him again after the service. I got a message from the family member that comes here to WRC. They said he passed away at 3:13 Tuesday morning, but not before he gave his life to Jesus. Come on, somebody. How powerful is that? I mean, that is grace. That is grace. I had a professor one time, and he loved to start fights, man. He loved to just pick fights. And he's like, so you telling me I can live like the devil my whole life, and in the last 10 seconds of my life say yes to Jesus, and then I can go to heaven? I said, yeah. He said, what is that? I said, grace. He didn't like me too much after that because he didn't like that answer, but that's what grace is. You can live your life I'll challenge you not to do this. Don't wait till the last second, but that's what grace is. At the last minute, this guy got saved, and they will see him in heaven one day because of the power of prayer and the power of God's word. And part of the tool that we use, it's just a tool. It's not an all, a fix-all, and it has all the solution. But this story is so, so powerful. I got an email this week, actually last week, from a guy who's getting books for another person. And they said, I want you to know that this is what the person I'm buying these books for said. They have over 500 books that they've read. They're prayer warriors. And this is what they said. They said, my wife and I love this book so much. We have over 500 books, but there's only 2 that we keep with us. One is the Bible, and the other one is the little yellow book. And so we've just seen incredible stuff happen. So the ministry is so powerful. We have 2 other books out. We ship books all over the place. In fact, I'm going to show you a map. I decided to fill in every state yellow that we've sent books to just this year, 2019. And so every state that's yellow has got a book sent to, at least one, most of them a bunch. This is what it looks like. Every yellow state we've sent books to. Now, Alaska, my mom says we sent books to Alaska, but she can't show me the order, so I didn't put it on here. When she shows me the order that we sent to Alaska, we'll make it yellow too. And then New Hampshire and Delaware, I believe, is the other one. So we've sent books. I'm just telling you, when you give, and some of you, I love you guys, some of you guys give straight to that ministry. So you actually give money straight to that ministry, but the church also supports that ministry as well. All right, so here's lane number 1. So we do international, national, local, PEL, and here's lane number 5, and this is the one that we've been focusing on the most here lately. Now this is the WRC building project, and I'm about to show you the floor plans. Y'all want to see the floor plans? All right, so we are about on, I think we're on floor plan number 6 right now. We're still working on it. We got another tweak to do. I think we're really close, though. And so this is not completely what it's going to look like, but it's really close. And so here's what it looks like. When we first sent the information to the architect, he came back. We wanted about 15,000 square feet. He came back with 18,000 square foot. It didn't even have everything in it. We're like, this sucker's going to have to go on a diet quick. So we started cutting and reshaping stuff. And so here's what it looks like. Here's the beginning. Here's the entrance. So this is our breezeway right down the middle. And so here's our little, you know what this is right here? That's if it's raining, you can drive up and drop off your loved one. What you think about that? That's pretty, we don't have that right now. Y'all, hey, come on, that's pretty good. You can actually drop off your wife without her getting wet. We don't have that now. We have to have somebody with an umbrella go out and get your people. And so that's a pretty awesome element there. And by the way, this is going to be sitting behind Moss Bluff Buc-ee's, facing UWin Road. All right, so there's trailers there. Those will be gone. This will be facing that way. So anyway, when you walk in, here's the breezeway. To your right will be kids check-in right here. There'll be self-check-in. We'll have a little check-in booth right here. The thing that we're changing, over here we have Growth Track and Dream Team Central together. And Dream Team Central is, Perry, if you're not on Dream Team, this is what it is. It's a place for you to hang out, get some coffee, get a Coke. We got Cokes and Coke Zeros and Sprites and waters and juices and honey buns. Some of y'all are like, hey, I'm getting on that. I'm getting on a team just to go get some of that. It's free. We give it to you. You hang out in there. And so that's going to be Dream Team Central. What it's not going to be is Growth Track as well. That's going to be gone. Growth Track is going to move over here, and this wall is going to come this way just a little bit. And so this room right here will actually end up being Growth Track. So we'll have Growth Track here, and as you come down the hallway, you'll take a right, and you'll go into the nursery. Now, the nursery is going to be, right now it's about 150 square feet in the nursery. Our nursery is going to be over 400 square feet in the new place. Come on, somebody. That's pretty exciting. So some of you nursery workers, you're excited about that. So it's going to have a little sink and stuff. You can wash the bottles and stuff out like that. And then if you keep coming, the next doorway is going to be pre-K. Right now our pre-K is about 200 square feet, 250. This is going to be over 800 square feet just for our pre-K area. So you got any pre-K workers in the house? Y'all need to go. Okay, we got some. All right. So we're going to have an area here for your pre-Kers. So they're going to be way more room than we have right now. Nursery is going to be way bigger. In fact, this whole thing, basically the whole thing is 3 times bigger in every area. The worship center is going to have about 450 seats in it. Right now we have 140. So it's 3 times bigger. The worship center is. The nursery is about 3 times bigger. Pre-K is about 3 times bigger. If you keep coming down this hallway and hang a left, this will actually be opened up a little bit, but this is how your kids will go to Kids Church. Kids Church is going to be about the size of this room we're in right now. Yeah. So it's going to be quite a bit bigger. Right now, we have a little storeroom behind the stage in the kids' building, and they've had to clean that out, and it's become a small group room for our kids because y'all got too many kids. That's what I'm trying to tell you. But keep having them, because that's how you grow a church. That's the best way to grow a church. Keep having kids. I think we got hopefully one or two on the way. That's another story. That's a whole other message. But so anyway, when you come in here, you have the kids' church area. The cool part about this space here is we're going to be able to use it for other than that. It's going to be a place to have events. If you have a life group party, you can have it in there. It's going to be a nice open area for you to hang out. What I love about it though is these doors right here, which won't be open on Sunday mornings because the kids need to come through here. But if we have an event, you can open this door up, and if you come down the end of the breezeway, it says check-in kiosk. This is actually a cafe. We have a cafe in our new building. I'm excited about that. I don't know about you all are, but yeah, come on. So a cafe, get your caffeine on. We might even have a latte up in there. Any latte lovers in the house? Iced coffee? Yeah. So it'll be legit, and we're gonna have an ice machine, y'all. Have an ice machine. So that's our little cafe area, and there's a kitchen hook to it. And what I love about it is when you come out here, this will all be outdoor seating. And so the outdoor here is connected to it, the kitchen's connected to it, and this area is connected to it. So you can actually have overflow, people hanging out outside. It's going to be pretty sweet. But here's probably one of my favorite parts. If you come back up the breezeway here and you hang a right, if you come in here and you hang a right, these are what you call bathrooms. We're going to have 6 to 8 times the toilets that we have right now. And some of you ladies are like, some of y'all go to the bathroom before you come to church right now because listen, there are times I walk around that corner, I'm like, oh, I got to go find me a bathroom somewhere because we don't have them here. So we're actually going to have 3 stalls per bathroom. And actually, we're going to probably expand that, make it 4. So we actually have 4 stalls, 4 for the men and 4 for the women. And so it's going to be pretty doggone sweet. And then also the bathroom for the kids will actually be connected to the kids because right now we have a Jack and Jill. So the pre-Kers and the kids' church kids use the same bathroom. And some of the kids' church kids will go to the bathroom and then they won't come back because they went on into pre-K because it's a Jack and Jill. And so they got to go look for the kids. Y'all know what I'm talking about. There's kids that you ain't supposed to be in here. And so y'all got runners is what I'm trying to tell you. Y'all got runners at your house. In fact, we designed all of this with runners in mind so we can lock your kids in a room and they can't get out. And so this is going to be a pretty sweet setup here. If you come down the hallway here, this is going to be our offices, which will look a little bit different than that, which you'll be able to access from outside as well. The worship center is going to be, of course, 3 times bigger. Of course, you have Dream Team Central up here. We have some storage down here. The stage right now, this stage is about 9 feet wide. It's going to be 16 to 20 feet deep. And so the band is probably excited about that. Yeah. Kathy's like, oh, yeah. Because, hey, listen, you got to like each other to be on stage right now. You just do. Look, it's like a maze when I come up here. I'm like, oh, hang on, hold up. You almost get hit by a guitar with one hand in the face and somebody singing with the other one. But anyway, yeah. When you come in here, Jeremy took me out one day. Well, one day, I don't know if y'all saw this. I got to get through this. I got some stuff to tell you. As I was coming through, I went too early, and Jeremy took his guitar and almost hit me with it, man. Anyway, it's tight up here. It's going to be way bigger. Got a little green room for the hangout for the band, so they don't, maybe not quite as distracting when they come on stage like they're about to in just a minute. But this is what it's going to look like. This is not a final version, but it's really, really close. Are y'all excited about this as much as I am? I'm excited about this. Parking's going to be better. They're going to have to park. The other day, I was going to take the golf cart and bring somebody to their car. I said, where are you parked? And she said, and I quote, in the trees. She was, too. She was in the trees. She was on the other side of Big Dan's. I don't know if she was going hunting or what. But anyway, the parking's going to be wrapped around it. It's going to be way closer. It's going to be very, very nice. But I want to tell you real quickly, I want to share a few scriptures with you because I want to tell you why. We're not about building a big, nice building to make a statement. We're doing it because God's called us to, and there's some biblical reasons why. I want to give those to you really, really quick. Why does WRZ exist? Why are we going to build this building? Let me give you 4 really, really quick. Number 1 is it's the biblical model. It's the biblical model. If you go back and look at what happened after the day of Pentecost in Acts chapter 2, you'll see what I'm talking about. Acts chapter 2, the Bible says Peter was preaching. Some people got saved, and those that were added were about 3,000 people. And look at this. They devoted themselves to the teaching of the apostles and to the fellowship and the breaking of bread and to prayer. Now, they devoted themselves to it. They didn't have to be They didn't have to have their arm twisted. You didn't have to bribe them with donuts. Some of y'all didn't come for a few weeks because y'all still bitter about the no donut thing. I get it. We'll bring some back here before too long. But they devoted themselves. In other words, they were members. Watch this. They were members by proximity, not by programs. See, nowadays you can sign a piece of paper, you're a member. They were members because they showed up. You're a member here at WRC because you went through and you want to be a part of something bigger. They were members because they showed up. They were here week in and week out and day out, and they broke bread together and they prayed. And everyone was filled with awe with all the wonders that were done by the apostles. And all the believers were together and had everything in common. The Bible says they also sold their properties and possessions and gave to anyone who had a need. And let me just tell you, some of you guys took money out of savings. You maybe didn't get your kids an extra something because you were helping these kids who need a bigger Christmas that weren't going to have one. This is what you're doing. It's biblical. It's what you're supposed to do. So it's a biblical model. Here's number 2 real quick, is we're part of something bigger. Listen, we're only one church, but there are many churches with like-minded as we are. In fact, the youth have an event coming up in January, and I think there's 8 or 9 churches involved in that event, which is uncommon. I grew up in church. I'm telling you, it's very uncommon. But a lot of the local churches here in Moss Bluff have connected, and they're going to have one big event. It's what we usually call Ignite Weekend. But we're part of something bigger. The Bible tells us in 1 Corinthians that just as the body, though one has many parts, but all its many parts for from one body, so it is with Christ. For we are all baptized to one Spirit, one body, and into one Spirit that we're supposed to drink from. Even so, the body is not made up of one part, but of many. And so, listen, we are one part. God's called us to be WRC. We have a vision, we have a focus, we have a direction, and we're only one part of many, so we're called to be a part of something bigger. Here's number 3 real quick. We're here to build each other up. We are here to build one another up. We want you to feel, excited to get to come to church. I don't want to stand up here and beat you up and beat you down. We need to build one another up. We build one another up in small groups. We build one another up as we team up together and do projects together. It's very, very powerful. The Bible tells us that in Hebrews, it's a very, very neat scripture. Let me find it real quick. Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 23 says this: "Let us hold unswervingly to the hope that we profess, for he who promises is faithful, and let us consider how we may spur one another on to love and good deeds." So we're here to build one another up. It's not about tearing somebody else down or he says, she said. We're here to build one another up. And then it says this: "And not giving up meeting together as some have done, but encouraging one another as they see the day approaching." The day approaching is Jesus coming back. Jesus is coming back, and we need to be busy about God's business, and that's why we're excited to give. So every dollar that you give, some of that goes to international, some of it's national, some of it's local, and some of it goes to PEL, and some of it goes into the building fund. And we could very easily go, you know what, we're not going to do outside stuff anymore. We're only going to focus on us, and that's just not biblical. We're here to build one another up and reach out and encourage one another outside these walls as we see the day approaching. Here's a 4th reason real quick. Let me give it to you, and this is the most important one. Eternity is looming. Ultimately, this is why we do what we do. I'm going to ask our band to come up because I want to close in worship, a big worship. But before we get to that point, as these guys come up, I want to share with you my heart about this rest of this verse. So we started in Acts chapter 2, the beginning of the church, and I'm going to go back there and finish this up. But eternity is looming. Eternity is long, forever and ever and ever and ever. And they're going to spend eternity in heaven or in hell. Eternity is looming. We have to be serious about God's business. Here's the rest of those verses in Acts chapter 2. "Every day they continued to meet together in the temple courts. They broke bread together in their homes, life group, and they ate together with glad and sincere hearts." And here's what I want you to see. "They were praising God and enjoying the favor of all the people, and the Lord added to their numbers daily those who were being saved." Encouraging is important. Being a part of something bigger is important. Being biblical is super important. But ultimately, it's about that right there. That's why we do what we do. Every dollar that we give is with somebody's soul in mind. Listen, as we build this building, every brick that goes in is with someone's soul in mind. We count things here. It's just what you do. You count the money. You count how many people are in life group, how many people are serving right now. We count. You've been counted this morning. We know how many are here. Listen, we don't count. We don't count just to look at numbers. We count because we count what matters. And you matter. In fact, our little count sheet, it used to say head count. We changed that to say soul count. Because every soul matters. Eternity is looming. He added to their number daily those who were being saved. And I love that word saved because it's the word sozo in the Greek. It actually means salvation, but it also means healing. So we've seen some incredible healing. We've seen God heal stage 4 cancer here at WRC. We've seen God heal people's backs who've had back problems for decades. We've seen people who were atheists come to know Jesus as their Savior. We've seen people who are in their 70s and 80s find Jesus, and that's almost unheard of. I want you to know that this is why we're here. No other reason. We're here to glorify God, but He is most glorified when we find people and bring them to Jesus, and that's why we do what we do. It's about those who are being saved. They're going to spend eternity somewhere. You're going to spend eternity somewhere. Let it be heaven. If you have never said yes to Jesus, do that today. Don't leave here the same way you came.